cider and a switchblade knife. Ride at the dawn on his motorbike. Looking for legends on the Sunset Strip with a stone cold paranormal partnership. Never time Rick tried to sell me some crack. Listen to the podcast, man, and take that shit back. It's Urban Legends, the podcast about urban legends. And here your host, Neil and Chris. You'll receive our pod in your ears tonight.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Urban Legends, the internet's overly long-running look at urban legends, mysteries, and all kinds of the Fortean style stuff. I am one of your hosts, Chris Flynn, and here is the other host. It is Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
They tried to stop us, Chris, but they couldn't.
They couldn't. Well, I mean,
They tried. Indifference is trying to stop us. Then.
yeah. Well, the viewing figures are sliding, so
Yeah.
from low to lower. So that's good.
From microscopic to subatomic.
I'm wondering whether I should look back and see kind of when it started sort of tailing off, because
What sort of version of Jump the Shark? Because you have to have had success for that. So it's
yeah,
going
no,
up.
so it's not that.
Yeah.
Poke the Blob.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's that I, without impunity, insult every single person's country and nationality here, including our own.
I wouldn't have thought so, Chris.
No one
People
gets
don't.
off free.
No one gets passionate about their nation or nationality.
Do you think in
like
this
that.
age of nationalism, maybe I should start taking the piss out of every country?
You give it a go. Tried everything else.
Look, we give our country the hardest of times, so
Yeah, rightly so.
yeah, exactly. Fucking idiots. So, speaking of that, Neil, you'll be the first one crying on the phone
Up against the wall.
Up against the wall. Yeah.
Come your revolution. Yeah.
Yep. Cigarette in mouth.
Your little Che Guevara.
No blindfold.
Yeah. Can I have a last cigarette? No.
You'll be the first one sort of crying for help, because we're about to get hit by a first storm of the storm season, Storm Agnes, aren't we, tonight?
Oh,
apparently.
is that tonight?
Yeah,
I think we've had a
apparently.
couple of thunderstorms, though. It's been a bit
No, not
rainy, hasn't it?
thunderstorm, storm.
Oh, this is like proper yellow
It's
warning.
it's
and all
got a
that jazz.
fucking name. They don't just name nothing, do they?
I don't know. They don't tend to be massively. Is it? It's not a hurricane or something, is it? I've not looked at it.
I think it was a hurricane.
Has it been downgraded to sort of like
Been
mildly annoying wind?
downgraded to hit our
We
downgraded
don't
country.
get terribly strong weather, do we? I think
Well, I mean,
we had
thankfully, because all the
Hurricane
buildings would
87,
collapse.
and then there was, well, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. No, I like the fact that our weather's quite tepid. It's fun.
Suits our personalities.
Exactly,
Suits our
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be barricading up your sliding doors at the back?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, just with what I don't know. No, I haven't. This is the first I've heard of it. I've been paying
You're
attention.
going to be getting onto your
I'm gonna
flat
climb
roof,
upon the roof and just scream
which
and
has
howl in the wind.
skylight in the howling winds, with your sou'wester on,
Yes.
your little fisherman's hat.
Yeah.
nails kind of on the side of your mouth, like hammering, like maybe a cast iron bin lid over it or something to try and keep the water out.
Yeah, just screaming about God's judgment.
Yeah, talking about the Kraken or something.
Yeah.
Who is our God?
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
Want to be, haven't they? All of those limbs.
Well, yeah, more limbs,
The
more
merrier,
holy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we always say. That's why we
More limbs, more efficient at praying.
Yep, that's why I will happily
Simple
sacrifice
math.
to millipedes.
Yeah.
The godliest of all.
Oh, the holiest of all insects.
I was going to say of God's creatures, but of their own creatures.
Yeah.
Neil, so I want to ask you a question, but I want to set a scene first, right?
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm worried.
Okay.
I'm instantly worried.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, of course I should be.
Of course you should be. So imagine like I'm sitting, we're in a courtroom, right?
Okay.
I'm
It's not getting any better than what I was thinking.
I'm sitting here, so I put the hanky over my head like they do to pass. So
it's a hanging offence, is it?
Neil Mistletoe Herbert, you have been found guilty of these numerous heinous crimes by a jury of your peers. You're a man known for your brevity and cruelty, known as the Portslade Prowler. This court's judgment is handed down by the Prime Minister of these Isles and King Charles the Third.
Third, I believe. Yeah.
Quiet! Quiet!
You sound like you needed a bit of help, Your Honour.
You have been sentenced to death by firing squad.
Have a last cigarette?
Right, so that is right. So that's that scene, right? Then you're off, right? You're down Broadmoor. I'd imagine that's where they keep you.
Yeah.
So you've decided not to appeal because, you know...
Only God can judge me, Chris. That's what I told
Well,
you.
because you're not only proud of you... Well, you're weirdly proud of your crimes.
Yeah, I went on GB News and...
Yeah, it talks about them.
It talks about me and Larry Fox.
I'm not going to specify what these crimes are, but what I would ask the listener to do is imagine the worst thing you've ever heard of, times it by 2 and add a 0.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're not even close.
No, of course not.
But you've decided not to appeal because...
Milk-toast fuckers wouldn't know anything about it.
You decided not to appeal because weirdly you don't want to... You don't want to waste public money, which is kind of like... It's kind of weirdly kind of in juxtaposition considering all of the despicable things that you've done, right? So
He's got to have his principles, Chris.
Yep. We'll draw our lines wherever we do. Yours is slightly squiggly.
Yeah.
Fair enough, whatever. So then the prison boss comes to you and says, right, son. I don't know where he's from. Right, son. You could choose your final meal. So, Neil, what's it going to be? What would your final meal be? Play chips.
Yes. Oh no! Why did I go for a pot noodle?
The only thing worse than the prison food is pot noodle.
Yeah, I was going to say because this is the thing because I actually read about this somewhere.
Oh, here we go. Him and his reading.
No, because you can't they'll get them extravagant. Well, I think
he thinks he's Quentin Crisp.
You can't get something really, really fancy, can you? It's
I'd imagine cannibals couldn't have what they wanted, for example.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could get something illegal, that's obvious. But no, let's say
a nice juicy baby.
Yeah, well, no, let's say you wanted, I don't know, really expensive high-end restaurant meal or something delivered in or something like that. Not going to do that, are they? So it's going to be basically
what are the rules? So the rules are just something easy to get.
Yeah, basically you can get something from a takeaway.
It's a nicety, mate. Don't take the piss. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, because that was a thing that was happening as well. Apparently people were ordering big extravagant meals and then just not eating them.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, what, just to waste money?
Yeah, just to waste money. Just the opposite to the governor.
The opposite of the Portslade Prowler.
Yeah. I'll go steak and chips, maybe some ice cream to finish.
Steak and chips, any sauce on that?
How good's a steak? But we went to that Argentinian place. What was that? I don't mind a bit of that. Is it chimichurri?
Chimichurri, yeah.
Chimichurri. I can't remember what was the other one they had.
What do you have? Nice cut of braising steak, something like that. Stewing steak.
Yeah, yeah. What we're gonna do is get a nice cut of stewing steak, a nice bit of shin, just flash fry that.
I want it chewing it. Oven 1 hour 30.
Yeah, I like it nice and chewy. Yeah.
Okay, and ice cream flavour, pistachio would it be? Hazelnut.
Yeah, something like gelato. You like a pistachio gelato.
You're not going to get a gelato, are you? Broadmoor.
I'm probably not going to get pistachio nut, am I?
You're probably not going to get a final meal at this rate.
Where this is going on, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. I just wanted to know what your final meal would be for unspecified reasons. Just thinking about Storm Agnes. So, as we all know, there's an awful lot of tall buildings in Portslade, isn't there? An awful lot.
Huge. Yeah.
But my worry is because you know it was the only place where under Liz Truss, which was actually made of Freeport, wasn't it? So there's no workers' rights there or anything, and they don't pay any tax. But there's also no building regulations. I'm a bit worried some of them are, if they get hit by strong winds, are they going to stay up? What do you reckon? Him?
Time will tell. Probably not.
Probably not.
I reckon the sea's going to be filled with a lot of debris tomorrow, is what I reckon.
Yeah, well, we could get down there, do some...
Get a bit of rebar, flog it on.
Get some scavenging. Yeah. What is it they like? What's
10p a yard you'll get for that. Beautiful.
What is it, like scavenging laws or something? Do you remember there was that container ship?
Well, because it's gone into the sea, it's flotsam or jetsam, isn't it, at that point? I forget which one it is.
But there was that container ship which ran aground down in the West Country about 15 years back, and then people just they killed the motorbikes and stuff. Yeah. Lovely.
Naval insurance, be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be fine. It was, as long as they got the drugs off in time.
Yeah,
that's where the money was. So, listener, please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Try and remain calm as we enter into Neil's mind garden.
It's a verdant meadow. Where am I kidding?
So what are we talking about in your mind garden, Neil?
We're going in my mind garden, in my lovely verdant grove of mind garden to
got a few burnt tyres and an old fridge.
Yeah. Hey,
You'd be useful one day.
Yeah, you never know. Keep hold of it.
Exactly.
It's rotten and filled with mould now. Doesn't mean it won't come in handy eventually.
You clean it, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Seal it, bang, something like that.
Yeah. Seal it on. So we're going to be looking at the Char Man of California in Ojai.
Ojai. So I've seen that there's a few legends around this California town. So I think
a few mates. Yeah.
So I'm going to announce this now. We're going to do over the next few weeks the Ojai. What should we call it? The Ojai, not journey. That's boring. Can't use Odyssey. The Ojai Mysteries.
I mean, yeah, if you like.
Okay. So next episode's going to be the Ojai Mysteries.
Unless we research it and find out there's actually nothing else interesting, in which case it won't be a one part.
Yeah, but so over the next few weeks we'll have a look, because I'm thinking of doing this as a multi-parter anyway. So
there we go. That's a good coincidence.
Yes, it's almost like we look at broadly the same source material.
Yeah, by and large. Well, this is just me Googling kind of, various bits and bobs. But I came across this one. It seemed like an interesting one.
Char Man. So he sounds like, we'll see, some kind of cookout king, some kind of...
I imagine he's going to barbecue, Chris.
Just like some barbecue master.
Yeah, I would imagine makes really nice chili.
It's probably on the Netflix thing, isn't it? Called Outdoor King Gods of the Meat or something.
Yeah, he's probably been on that show with those that chef. He's always like what? He's got spiky hair and he dresses like a 90s new metal bloke.
Gary Rhodes.
Yeah, he's died, hasn't he, Gary Rhodes?
I don't know.
I think he might have done.
Is that public knowledge yet, Mr. Prowler?
Guy Fieri, actually, I was thinking of. You may have...
I don't know of him.
He goes around and goes like, "Oh, this is a tasty burger," or whatever. Wow, and he's got frosted tips and wears sunglasses on the back of his head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm vaguely aware. I've not seen any of his shows. I'm vaguely aware of him as a cultural
he's
titan.
Pretty much how
I think
I
titan's probably the right word.
Yeah.
A cultural touchstone.
Yeah, he sort of goes around it. I don't know. He seems like an all right guy, and you hear about it, the way he treats his staff and stuff. But
that's good.
Hey ho, we don't really know that much about him in England. But yeah, you see him in various bits and pieces. But he's a colourful character, like that. Yep. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Char Man.
Well, let's not box ourselves in.
Well, yeah, we might make this the Guy Fieri podcast, Suddenly everyone starts tuning in.
Something, Neil.
Yeah. We've got to start desperately trying other things. Right. So, I'm on a website called, I've just realised it's not secure as well. I can get a little bit of a warning in my browser, but I'll not to try to wait.
Press on.
Yeah, press on with that. I'm reading off of it. It's called Weird California, and it really looks like it was a website.
Getting a few notifications from my bank here on my phone.
It's designed to. Wait a minute, my phone's really blowing up. What's going on there?
I don't remember making a £250 withdrawal.
I'm sure it's all fine. I'll just approve that. Called Weird California.
Probably did it when I was drunk.
Yeah, would be the first time. www.weirdca.com. And it really looks like it was designed in the 90s. It's kind of got that old school feel. But a lot of the comments are they're from 2008 onwards up to 2016. So.
Oh, there we go. So it's had a good, strong 8 years.
Yeah. So that's
died off since then, but.
Yeah. Got a little bit of. He got what looks like around 20 comments underneath his article.
That's 20 more than us.
Exactly. Right. Char Man.
Char Man.
And he's got some mates, as you sort of alluded to. So we might also talk about the Ojai vampire a little bit, just because he gets talked about a little bit. So just south of Ojai, in Ventura County, along Creek Road,
where Jesse Ventura's from.
I would imagine so.
The body Ventura.
Yes. He ain't afraid of no man, Chris.
No, or ghost, or Char Man.
It'll be anything.
If it bleeds, he can kill it.
Exactly.
Isn't he actually quite a good senator these days?
I don't know. I know he's weirdly. I think about
he's actually
about four people got into quite a high government office from that movie.
Yeah, but he's actually weirdly progressive and just tells.
I just assumed he was massively right wing.
No, he's not. No, it turns out no.
Because who's the other guy who played? He's the guy.
I think he's socially conservative, but not to the extent of what the American right are, and so he just thinks they're nutters.
Something didn't Carl Weathers? I think he either became a senator or he got into, I don't know, something else.
He was the chief of staff for George Bush, wasn't he?
Oh, I can't remember. And it's
and Arnie,
the fellow as well,
of course, was
the guy. He was afraid of no man. He was playing a Native American. I don't know if he was Native American or not, but
almost certainly not.
I think he became quite real.
It was probably Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, it's fine. Mexican, Native American, whatever. Sort of, Anyway, Spanish, Italian.
Yeah, just get
Irish at a push. Yeah. Well, I'm going to remember in the reverse of that. It was old Fisher Stevens. What was it? Short Circuit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move swiftly on.
Or Big John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, do you hear about that as well? Because basically, everyone who worked on that movie, they shot it out on one of the nuclear test sites.
Oh, yeah. They all got cancer.
So, that's right. That might have been what finished off the Duke, as they called it. Yeah, so there you go.
The Thin White Duke.
Yeah, well, he probably was the Thin White Duke after radiation poisoning.
Oh, yeah, it was really weird when
the cancer took hold.
Yeah, but it opened up his creative pause, and he did the whole Starman thing.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
he did. He survived it a long time. He didn't die of cancer until about 5 years ago. Didn't he?
Yeah, no, just
after he did Black Star.
Yeah, he became an incredible musician. Right.
Yeah, do you know what? He had an impressive second act.
Yeah, fair play. You reinvent yourself like that. I've only, Right, what are we banging on about?
I don't know.
Yeah, although the park looks peaceful enough, it certainly houses its share of spooky spirits.
The park?
So there's a road, then there's a park.
Right.
So you got Ojai, Ventura County, along Creek Road is a park.
No, this is a bit like the opening of the Skellingtons.
Yeah.
And a dark town and a dark road.
There's a lot to it. So I think this will probably allude to these. We'll probably get into these in more detail as we do the sort of the other episodes.
Neil, I'm not in any rush.
First is the ghost of a bride, complete with a bloody wedding dress. She's tall and slim, with light brown hair and a veil covering her face.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. The story tells that she was murdered on the day of her wedding, perhaps by a greedy new husband who married her only for a dowry.
A dowry?
Yeah, her inheritance.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I didn't know they did dowries in California.
Back in the day, they probably did.
Why didn't I get a dowry in my now arrested marriage?
Well, you should have looked into that before you exchange rings, shouldn't you?
Another
Had a chat with her family and gone, well, come on. How much cash is coming with this?
how much taken off your hands?
So she can
Am
be
I a
seen.
murderer?
Yeah, of course not. Well, you get haunted by I don't know, whatever that was. It the Greenbrier ghost or something? Was it one of our
Greenbrier?
Greenbrier, I said. Yeah. Anyway, she's doing a bit of hitchhiking. You can see her.
Is that the one we spoke about before?
I don't. The Greenbrier ghost.
No, we talked about hitchhiking.
Woman. It's all run into one eventually.
Okay, fair enough.
Get fairly similar. I don't think so. So there's also a spectral horsewoman that reenacts her death every year on its anniversary.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got to have a hobby, isn't you?
Little tradition.
When you're undead.
That's how these things start. It'll be Christmas in 1,000 years.
Yeah, the horse gets spooked by a snake, subsequently throwing her to her demise.
Okay, so no one's fault.
Yeah.
Well, her fault for forcing herself on top of an animal.
All right, Ricky Gervais. Then there's a headless motorcyclist that can be found rocketing down the lonely road.
Oh, right. I like him.
This is a proper ghost party.
He sounds pretty cool.
He sounds a bit like, headless, I guess.
Nick Cage.
Well, yeah, I was thinking of that Nick Cage, but he's on Skulls on Fire. Ghost Rider, yeah. I think I've seen, it's one of those films, I think I've seen it, but I honestly couldn't tell you because it's just in one ear and out the other.
I haven't.
I don't know whether I saw a clip or I'm aware of it, but I don't know.
Well, it's a weird, do you know what? It's a weird one because Nick Cage really liked the comics of Ghost Rider, and so he got the film. He got them to make the. Has he? Next to a sandcastle.
I'm guessing, yeah.
And so he got them to. He got the studio to make the film and have him star in it, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like a vanity project, you could say.
Fair enough. Oh, I was down for a bit of Nick Cage madness.
Good for you.
Right. Oh, so our headless motorcyclist, the story is he was forced off the road by a pickup truck and decapitated by either a wire fence or the branch of a tree.
That's the problem.
It was a very sharp tree branch, one would imagine.
Or he was going very, very fast.
Yeah. Jesus, 500 miles an hour. So there's also the spirit of an old Native American shaman sporting feathers in his hair. Finally, the area hides the skeleton of a European vampire who lies staked inside a stone coffin guarded by a huge black phantom dog.
That
could be
vampire and a black dog.
Yeah. There's a phantom dog as well.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of mates with him. So in addition to the previous 5 spirits, determined ghost hunters can find even more spooks just north of the Park on Creek Road near the 2-lane concrete bridge, spanning San Antonio Creek.
Picturesque.
First, there are 2 young children dressed in 19th century style clothes. They walk along the rails of the bridge and find it. Do you know what? For an article called Char Man,
there's not a lot about Char Man, is there?
There's not a lot of Char Man in my Char Man article. I'll say this much. Anyway, it looks like the 3rd paragraph. We're going to get to Char Man. Okay. They walk along the rails of the bridge and finally jump off to plummet to the creek bed below. If you race to the railing, their forms will not be found on the other side. There's a bit of prank in there going on.
Yep. Suicidal prank kids.
Yep. Or maybe they're trying to go to you. Next up is a disembodied childlike hand that runs along the railings of the bridge.
Yeah.
This is proper monsters going on now.
Yeah.
Then there's a ghostly school bus, which, as local legend would have it, went off the bridge in the 30s or 40s. 12 children and the bus driver died in the accident. Do you reckon the bus driver was drunk?
Almost certainly.
Yeah, or just on some, opiates and or cocaine.
Yeah,
just a tonic. You're just tired.
Just having a little tincture.
Yeah. Anyone would. A bit cold.
All those screaming kids.
Oh, God. Drive you mad.
I'm going to take some milk of the poppy.
Yeah. You'd have to, wouldn't you?
Quite an amount.
Yeah. It was like the 19th century version of air cancelling headphones. Air cancelling, noise cancelling headphones.
Yeah.
Eventually become air cancelling.
He actually he actually asphyxiated and drove off the
Yeah.
bridge because he had the air cancelling headphones.
The end result was the same.
Yeah.
As we know, the ends always justify the means. Yeah, and so the legend goes on to state, if you visit the bridge on rainy nights, you can hear the screams of the victims. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, even with all these spirits and spooks, the most famous of the inhabitants is Char Man.
Char Man.
So what they've done there is a nice little setup. They've introduced you to a whole menagerie of like fucking ghosts and ghouls, and then gone, yeah, but never mind about that.
The OCU.
Yeah, the absolute daddy amongst this lot is the Char Man.
What's going on there? Are you on a horse?
me moving up and down on my seat. Sorry.
Oh, right, okay.
We'll quickly though just go. There's a little sidebar here on the Ojai vampire, so we'll just have a quick talk about him. So, according to urban legend, a vampire relocated the Ojai area around 1890 from either Italy or Spain.
Yep, same country.
You would think probably would be I don't know, Romania or whatever.
Got vampires everywhere, mate.
That's true. He acquired a small ranch and kept a low profile.
Mm-hmm.
So a hard-working vampire.
Yep, Cowboy Vampire. Sounds like a hell of a film.
Yes.
Cowboy Vampires.
I guarantee somebody's done that.
I'll probably.
I told you this one before.
Trauma or something.
Yeah, no, it's one of those, or just like a terrible independent. Because there is, I did see on IMDb, there is a movie of the Char Man. But the twist is they're searching for the Ojai vampire. The Char Man comes a calling. Wants them up.
He's like the muscle.
Yeah.
I quite want to say, I've heard, even though it sounds really stupid, I've heard it's actually quite good, the film Cockneys versus Zombies.
Oh, I've seen that. Is
it quite good?
It's terrible. It's worth watching. Well, you've got people like, the thing is they've stacked it with a fairly decent cast.
Yeah.
It's really stupid.
Of famous pretend Cockneys.
Exactly. It's got like Bricktop from whatever that Guy Ritchie movie was called.
Or Snatch.
Yeah, Snatch, I think he was in. And I can't remember who else. There's like, you'd recognise,
Damon Albarn.
Yeah, Damon Albarn, Jamie Oliver.
Jamie Oliver's in it, yeah.
I can't remember, but...
Julian Dix.
Yeah.
Violet Cray.
Big Ron. Arthur from EastEnders. Dirty Dan. No, it's literally that kind of shit, but it's... I think I might have only seen the last half an hour or something, but yeah. Babs Windsor, yeah, absolutely. I don't know, the Cray brothers.
Jason Statham, pretend Cockney.
Yeah. He's too big for that now, and he's starring in other terrible movies that earn a lot of money, like The Meg 2 and The Meg 3.
Yeah, well, he's actually, because of his training, because he was an Olympic
diver,
Olympic hopeful diver.
Yeah.
He's actually one of few Hollywood actors who can actually act while swimming. So he gets a lot of those sea-based roles.
Yeah. As long as you put him in a tank of water, he's quite passable.
He's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise,
forget it.
I mean, that performance of King Lear he did in Salt Ding Lido.
Oh, darling. Oh.
Yeah.
I was blushing for him.
Hell of a thing. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'd say, don't go and expect anything good.
Speak up, darling. Speak up. Oh, King Lear. Why are you growling for such a small man? Vinnie Jones, he's in it, of course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I vaguely recall that. It's just a lot of people swearing and saying Cockney and going, "Oh, fatty rant boys," and then
zombie, you zombie twat.
Yeah, have a bit of this, you zombie.
I'm gonna kick you down the apples and pears.
Why don't fuck around with Cockneys, you zombie wanker? It's literally that level of humour. But yeah, I'm an idiot, so it
sounds all right.
Yeah, it's don't expect anything great, but it's worth a look.
I don't think you go watching a film Cockneys versus Zombies if kind of you're expecting something to kind of really shift your perception of reality. You're really deep thinking.
Yeah. It's like our generation's Proust. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh no, I was onto the vampire, wasn't I? Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, he's a cowboy.
Cowboy vampire.
Surely there. Yeah, sure. That's how he got into that.
I'm pretty sure there's an anime about that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Shortly thereafter, locals were assaulted by strange wolf-like creatures. What's he going to do? Creatures of the night. Call them. The townsfolk got up in arms and, realising that a vampire was in their midst, raided the vampires right during the day. Yeah, either that or they saw a Spanish/Italian geezer and didn't like another cut of his jib.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Don't blame him.
The vampire was prepared for that. Because,
Let's
of
make
course,
snap judgments.
daytime, because what you want to do best farming's at night, isn't it? So daytime, he's going to be in his coffin, isn't he? So he had a huge black phantom dog to guard his stone sarcophagus.
Well, you've got to, so I know you're joking, Neil. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Best farming at night, but it actually is.
Actually is.
Because if you're watering your plants during the day, the water will just evaporate in hot sun, whereas if you put it at night, it gives it a chance to get into the soil.
And a climate like California's.
It's toasty now.
These avocados are wasting so much water. If you imported some more vampires to, to grow your avocados for you, Barbara Streisand.
They could probably go in under the point system because they are experts.
Skilled workers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd probably be quite good at running tech companies as well, let's face it.
I don't know, they're not.
I imagine Elon Musk is.
They're not blood-sucky enough.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, you don't quite embrace evil, no morality enough for us there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they seem quite deep thinkers.
You just fired your entire staff on a whim. Why would you do this?
This is not the way to run a company.
This is not classy at all. Yeah, you're not our kind of man.
You have to pay the bills if you hire the office.
Anyway, the vampire was that he had his big dog, covering his sarcophagus, and it also drank blood, the dog. So he's a vampire dog. That's good.
All right, isn't it? Well, that's good
not too
because
shabby.
you don't have to shop in two different places.
Exactly, yeah. The ranchers eventually, but they repelled it with a silver crucifix.
No.
Do you reckon a normal crucifix didn't work? They got upgraded to a silver one, and that's fine.
Yeah, probably. But they're probably sort of upgraded through the metals because it's expensive, isn't it, silver soup?
Well, yeah, you don't want to go straight in.
Don't go straight in. So you start with just your fingers.
Yeah. Couple of matchsticks, bit of cardboard, something you do out of
Then just your standard wood.
Yeah.
Then
a couple of sticks. Then
iron.
Brass, iron, yeah.
Iron, then brass, then maybe steel.
Maybe tin first, yeah.
Zinc alloy.
Yeah. Working your way up.
Working your way up. I don't need to explain the hierarchy of metals in vampire mythology here. If you're here, you already know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're a fan of these things. So his brownstone tomb was hidden by underbrush and weeds. Realising his master was in trouble, the Black Beast charged the ranchers again, only to be turned away as they sprinkled holy water on him. So they've come really prepared.
Ooh. Silver
crucifix and holy water. With the dog retreating, the ranchers opened the stone casket and staked the evil monster that lay within, thus ending his short reign of terror. The casket, or stone sarcophagus, is said to still be there, hidden amongst the brush and weeds. It's an above-ground tomb with a small window in it. You like to have a watch?
Yeah, let the light in.
Yeah. This is what you want when you're a vampire,
isn't it? Exactly, yeah. It seems all makes sense, it's all adding up.
Yeah. It's an above-ground tomb with a small window in it. You could supposedly peer in through the window and still see the skull of a vampire.
It's a lot supposedly, isn't it? Aren't they saying it's there?
Well, again, this is another one of these things where they're, one would think one could easily either repudiate or verify this.
It's too scary, though, isn't it?
That's true. You're not going to try. You see that window, you're not even going to want to look at it, and it might be a bit dirty as well. It's not been cleaned for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So you might,
And how much that costs now? Window cleaning, it's very expensive, isn't it? Now they're using those rather than going up on a ladder.
Ladders. Yeah,
they can't do that.
Health and safety gone mad.
Health and safety's gone mad. Yeah, it's a wokerati.
Yeah, Jesus, the blob. So it's been speculated that his legend cropped up from a possible real-life above-ground tomb. Plausible that an old family near the turn of the century could have buried their dead in this manner upon their estate. It is not only unheard of, but also is not only not unheard of, but also apparently the custom at the time in certain parts of Europe. Even the window in the stone coffin isn't completely unheard of. Stating that, however, if you're wandering around Camp Comfort...
That's Italian style, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, they love them.
Stay
classy.
That's like more... Italians have kind of coffins above ground. They have like more
and
stuff, don't they?
Sarcophagus and stuff like that. Yeah, you can have... I mean, certainly you'd have the display and things. I mean, I guess they put the bones and things in the ossuary or whatever. But yeah, you'd have like family tombs and things. They're quite...
Yeah, you could have a little look in and wail. Go... Right.
Anyway, so if you come across one, don't pull out the wooden stake. I assume he comes back to life to do that.
I'd absolutely do that.
Yeah, you can become mates with him.
Yeah, but I'd want to be immortal. So
yeah,
and I'm not. People go, "Oh, when you get bored," the answer is no. Absolutely not.
I'll tell you what, though, you haven't read those Anne Rice novels, Chris. You become like a weepy vampire.
Yeah, but you're still alive.
That's true.
Which is the main thing.
Anyway, so Char Man. Get
on some antidepressants.
No problem. Vampires.
Don't they?
No.
Can vampires take drugs?
Their neurotransmitters are all fucked.
Are they?
Yeah.
Can vampires take drugs, Neil? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
All right. Can they smoke?
Because they're not living, are they? They're not they're undead. No. They can smoke, but they can't absorb any, but they can get any sensation.
Really? Well, so if you see a vampire smoking, really, he's just an absolute poser.
Like he could absolutely cane a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
Or like a barrel of rum. He's just like that thing.
Really?
Yeah.
But I mean, he's only got a certain size stomach.
We're just coming out the other end.
Do they have... So he could gain he could drink a barrel of rum in one sitting, but the sitting would be a long sitting.
Yes.
Right.
Anyway, Char Man. Here near the bridge, the ghost of Char Man, a hideous, burnt beyond recognition spirit, emerges out of the forest and attacks motorists.
Ooh.
Especially those brave enough to get out of their cars and yell from the bridge.
Oi, Char Man!
You want some?
Come on.
So popular is his legend
in the
California,
though, isn't it? So it'd be, hey, Char Man, do you want some?
Hey, Char Man. Yeah, can't do comments. So popular is legend in the area.
I'm not scared of you.
There it is. The bridge has been dubbed Char Man Bridge.
Char Man Bridge.
So possibly a ghost, possibly a hideous monster. Char Man is no longer the man he once was.
Oh. That's a bit judgy.
Now horribly charred.
How about you walk a mile in his shoes?
Walk a mile in his charred shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
He's rumoured to be covered in black, burnt, peeling skin, wearing little more than charred bandages, and supposedly emits a disgusting burn smell. So that's a little bit like the bandage man. He'll be covered.
Yeah.
He haunts a stretch of road as well.
On the west coast.
Yeah, you see a lot of these American urban myths set around some like abandoned bit of highway or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a big driving country. So he used to haunt Signal Street and Shelf Road, but as those areas became more and more populated, the legend migrated to the lesser...
he got pushed to local...
Gentrification.
Yeah,
again,
get pushed out.
For our goals.
Unbelievable.
Absolute fucking travesty.
Where once was Char Man's murder shack, now stands a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Disgusting. But they've got it on eminent domain as well.
And we've got behind the counter the skull of his dead mother. He used to worship her. Crazy.
Yeah, anyway, what was it? Frappuccino? Yeah. £19.
So, part of the story involves stopping your car on the bridge, getting out and yelling, help me, to which an incensed Char Man will come rampaging out the forest and attack you. It does not explain why.
I mean, like different things can get to you.
He's not a big one for charity, Char Man. Believes, God helps those who help themselves.
He's a complete libertarian.
I'll tell you what, Jehovah's Witness.
Help me!
Fucking nightmare.
Social health care's theft.
What? You want your hand in my pocket? You know I should pay for your hair? You can't be bothered to...
Where was social health care when I got charred up?
Look at me, I'm burnt to a fucking cinder. Don't say anything
and I'm not asking for help.
Yeah. Put on some
Getting
smelly
on with
bandages and get on with my life. Pull myself up by my bandages. Right. As with all good legends, there are 3 different yet similar origins.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's probably multiple different origins, but anyway. The first and second occur in the fire of 1948. I don't know what the fire of 1948 is. Do you reckon that's like a Californian version of the Great Fire of London?
Well, they've had some pretty big fires in
Big forest fires and
California.
things, don't they? Yeah.
Big forest fires. San Francisco's burnt down about 8 times after earthquakes and that, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was on a fault line, isn't it?
Yeah, good idea, lads.
Yeah, well,
There's quite a lot of fucking people living on fault lines. It's mental. Like, not just in America. I mean, like, Tokyo's on a
all
fucking
over the
fault
place.
line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Why are people drawn to them?
It's like ley lines, isn't it?
It's just the energy.
Yeah.
The energy. Or it could be the
Risk versus reward, isn't it?
could be the delicious gases that rise up that kind of
Could
give them
make it big, could fall over into a bridge hole or something. Bridge hole, whatever.
Yeah, well, it could be an economic powerhouse, or 20 million people could die.
Yeah, well,
Why don't you just build it over there? Just build it exactly where it was.
Yeah, exactly. So, first story, a father and son are caught in the fire. Both are horribly burned beyond recognition. The father sadly passing away before help could arrive. The son, meanwhile, goes insane from his injuries.
He's probably survived by climbing inside the dad's cadaver, didn't he?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
That's
what you learn at school.
If you do get, in a horrible forest fire, kids, that's what you need to do.
Well, that's what or even in even
like
in your
Savalon,
even in your flat, they say, put a damp towel underneath the door to stop any smoke coming in. Try and get all windows open. Don't go out without pressing the back of your hand against the door to see if the flames are right outside, and climb inside one of your dead relatives until the fire brigade get there.
Basic fire safety, that.
That was what that was brought in by the Conservatives. They didn't have to put sprinklers in flats, wasn't it?
Yeah,
or get rid of flammable cladding.
Well, I mean, we looked at the committee, looked at it, and this it was quite profitable. So
that's how we thought. Well, we could just change.
I mean, are we really going to put the hard-working cladding families out of business? Just because I mean, how many Grenfell fires do we have a year?
Yeah, I was talking.
How profitable is that industry? So
I was talking to my friend, Mr. Multilux Cladding Incorporated Worldwide, the other day, and he was saying that him and his family are really struggling. So
yeah, well, exactly.
Can't put them out of business.
Cost of living crisis, they just affect the poor. Hasn't eaten swan in weeks. So in the second, the son eventually escapes the woods and becomes the Char Man. In the second story, a husband and wife are caught in the fire. The husband, horribly burned and injured, hears his wife trapped by the blaze yelling, "Help me," over and over again.
Oh, so this is why he gets so angry.
Yeah,
because he hated his wife.
Literally, it's like PTSD. He just needs to get counselling.
His wife. Right.
The husband, due to the fire and his own injuries, is unable to come to the aid of his wife and lies unable to move. Listening to her pleas for help as she's slowly consumed by the flames. Well, no, it's because he's traumatised by this, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the husband eventually becomes the Char Man. Supposedly, the Ventura County Historical Museum claims that there were no victims of the fire in 1948.
Oh, here we go.
So these two origins appear to have some flaws. Yeah, big fire. Right. Covering it up. Yeah, again.
Of course.
Oh, of course. Huge fire, no victims. Sounds likely.
I'd be interested to know who funded this museum. Oh, look, it's big fire. What a surprise.
There's yet another similar version floating around.
I call museums propaganda huts.
Oh, yeah. History, more like Lunt's story.
That's just truly excellent.
Yeah.
Get that t-shirt.
Best pun I've ever made.
That'll be our first bit of merch.
Yeah, that'll be a badge.
Yeah, a button. Yeah. You can put it on that cap that you've got with all the other badges on.
Yes, exactly.
That you wear to...
And a bit of flair.
You wear to when you go and watch stock car racing.
Yes, with my cap with a little propeller on top.
Propeller on top, yeah. Your Castrol GTX jacket that you wear.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. A nice pair of... That's for dungarees with a Lego,
nice.
man on the front.
Just with one strap hanging down.
Yeah, it's saucy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what's going on the right hand side. Yeah. Not too shabby.
Very good. It's a good look.
Yeah.
Everyone can see that. Everyone can see that little tattoo that you've got there for Paul McCartney's band Wings.
Yes. Hey, good band.
Very good.
I love Kintyre. Nothing wrong with that.
Live and Let Die.
Yeah. Oh, one of the top Bond themes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's yet another similar version floating around that states Char Man was a firefighter who lost his life fighting the same blaze.
Mm.
And then finally...
So it's all around this blaze.
Yeah. Well,
the blaze of 48.
A last theory takes place in the early 50s, a few years later. It relates to the story of a bad automobile fire. Some versions place the automobile accident actually on the Char Man Bridge, in which the driver is hideously burnt beyond recognition, but manages to barely survive, escaping into the nearby woods to become the Char Man.
I mean, it's an interesting choice.
I mean,
rather than like wait for an ambulance or something, just right. That's me off in the woods.
Run into the woods. Yeah. Well, I mean, you wait for an ambulance these days for 40 minutes, and you might as well run into the woods. Become a beast.
He was just like sort of like a businessman, like wife and kids at home and stuff. Gets a car crash, just goes and lives in the woods.
Yeah, I'm going to go live in the woods now.
I'm a monster now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a monster. What am I going to do?
My wife wasn't happy with the fact that I put on a few pounds, which she's not going to look at me now. I'm just going to go and live in the woods, and I hate my kids. They take after her.
So what's good about this article is it starts out saying there are 3 origin stories, then it adds a 4th.
Yeah.
Which it calls the last theory, and now it's got yet another one.
Another one. Good. Hey, look, it's building.
Yeah.
It's like the Hitchhiker's Guide trilogy.
The English language, but, Some police officers claim yet another origin. In the 60s, there was supposedly, this is like one of those bands that are like, oh, go on then, if you cheer a bit more, we're going to do another encore.
Yeah.
In the 60s, there was supposedly an elderly man who had a very bad case of skin cancer.
Yeah.
His face and arm were badly disfigured and deformed, and he didn't like to be seen. He often took his dog for walks in the evening or late at night, so it's a bit like Charlie No Face, isn't it?
Yeah.
During those strolls, he would occasionally be seen by local youth who, frightened, began propagating the Char Man stories. Bundle of tales even more. Additionally, later, there may have even been a Char Man hoax performed. May have been, possibly.
May have been.
Which adds even more speculation on veracity of the entire Char Man legend. Hang on a second, is he claiming that the Char Man legend isn't true?
Well, I think that the person with a skin condition walking his dog at night and kids then coming up with this legend is the most likely of the current stories.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones have all got a little bit of essence of bullshit about them, haven't they? So Char Man is such a famous local legend, there's even a hot sauce named after him, created by Chris Sutton, who I assume was the ex-Chelsea footballer. I can't remember who else he played for.
Celtic and Blackburn more famously, and Norwich. Pundit now, isn't he? Does his punditry.
Also a hot sauce salesman by the sound of it.
Hot sauce and punditry.
Yeah. What channel is he on? Is he on?
He plays the agent provocateur on 5 Live.
Oh, yeah.
Tries to, does the phone in with the people, with football fans who ring in.
Yeah. They have really great considerate points to make.
Yeah, that type of
well-considered theories that they want to espouse. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, well, I reckon it was a penalty, yeah? No, it was. No, I reckon it was a penalty, definitely.
All I'm saying is the referees, I mean, we all get a bit, supporting our team. We just don't, tell other people about it, really.
Just bottle it up inside until it comes out at an international tournament abroad or something.
Well, I mean, let's face it, that's never stopped any England fans from making arse of themselves, are they? I know what I'll do. I'll show a firework up my house. God's sake. Oh, Christ.
Look, people get excited. It's a fairly colourless country at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know what level of excitement I'd have to shove a cracker up my arse, but there you go.
I mean,
it's kind of dangerous as well, isn't it? You're not thinking.
I mean,
I don't want anything that made out with gunpowder that near my taint on fire, to be honest with you.
Well, what if it was there's only one drink left and whoever does that gets it.
I mean, what's
You
the
do,
trick?
you do, booze,
I mean,
and you've had a few already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give it a go, wouldn't you?
I mean, I've got like another 6-pack in my bag, but
Yeah, but it's warm.
that's walking home.
That's my walking home beer.
Yeah.
That's my walking around beer.
I'm going to crack them open now.
Street pints, they're the only pints I know. Street
Indeed.
pints, having boozers on the go.
I haven't had that one for a while.
No.
What is it? Oh, yes. So it's Chris Sutton, Char Man's Revenge habanero pepper sauce is made by Highway 33 Foods and comes with the tagline, just beware, with 5 fire roasted habanero peppers in every bottle, Char Man's Revenge may become a reality.
Oh,
This was all an advertorial all along, and I've been
yes, absolutely was. Yeah,
an absolute fucking Jeep. I've been
no, we didn't even get any money for that.
Mate, I'm gonna buy some bottles there. Habaneros particularly hot, I don't know.
Probably.
People talking about like ghost chili reapers and all of that nonsense.
Ghost scorpions and stuff.
I'm not a fan of like particularly hot sauces, let alone the ridiculously hot ones that you like. Oh, this one's 20 million Scoville units.
I've noticed that
No thanks.
and I think this happens to a lot of people. I've noticed that my enjoyment of hot food is getting less as I'm getting older. Because I used to like really hot stuff, like in my 20s, but now I'm 40. I don't like it as much. So
like a bit of spice.
I can still take it, Neil. Don't worry about that. I can still take it.
Oh, yeah.
I can still take it. I'm still man.
Yeah. No, I like
I
weeping and snotting all over my
just
food.
enjoy
It's
it
brilliant.
now.
No, I like a bit of heat, but it's kind of like, but no, just when that whole kind of like masochistic. And even though not much, no, I've never been a fan of that. To be honest with you, like,
what's your top level? Like spicy tomato ketchup, something like that.
Yeah, like a Bombay bad boy pot noodle. No, that's a bit much.
Yeah, pint of milk on the side just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Oh, it's going to be hell on the old. Yeah,
filled the bath up with ice cubes.
Be waking up remembering that.
Emergent 999 on speed dial.
Oh, just in case. No, just didn't ring them up and get the ambulance coming on its way before I start eating it, just in case,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take 7 or 8 hours, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I'm about to eat a chicken korma. If you could just send it out now. No, I don't know. I wouldn't do like a vindaloo or a file or any of that.
I used to eat vindaloos.
I've had vindaloo before.
They're nice.
It's all right. Not the nicest for me, but yeah.
Anyway, come on, Char Man.
It depends as well, doesn't it? Because, I find that it varies a lot between,
Char Man probably looks like a delicious bit of tikka, doesn't he?
Oh, I bet he would.
Lovely.
Tikka.
Cooked in a nice clay oven. Can you tell, listeners, can you tell that we're recording on a weeknight and we haven't had our dinner yet?
I'm quite hungry. I'll skip lunch as well. So, crispy charred chicken, man. So, is the Char Man an elderly cancer case? Was he an elaborate hoax? Is he a monster or ghost of the victim of the 1948 fire? Whatever he is, the legend of the Char Man has now taken on a life of his own. Just to be on the safe side, perhaps you should avoid stopping your car on the bridge along Creek Road. I'll be honest, that wasn't a terribly compelling character.
I didn't mind him. He was all right.
He's all right. He's got a lot of origin stories. He didn't. What the thing is, there was a lot of that was about origin stories, but there wasn't.
A lot of it was about everything except Char Man.
Yeah, it was very Char Man peripheral. Maybe as we dive into the Ojai,
one's Char Man's his character will become more round.
Will be illuminated by some other things. I was just looking as well. There's some comments underneath. So there's someone, Mark Milleen. I live in Ojai. I've been studying UFO activity for years in the mountains around. One night I filmed UFOs that came to study me. On YouTube, UFO encounter, Lion Street, 3:30 a.m. So I guess have a look on YouTube for that. Please watch. It shows UFOs are active in Ojai, Creek Road, blah, blah, blah.
This is just him advertising on an advertorial.
Yeah. Stories about Creek Road have something to do with UFOs, he thinks. Huntings are a way for them to communicate with us. And their energies are so strong that it fails as you're being watched and the sounds they make. I think he was quite drunk when he wrote this. And they live on our fears. There's much we don't know about them, but they're all over the mountains around Ojai.
They're much me don't know about many thing.
So Roberta of Marysville.
Was that Cookie Monster? Did you say?
You did sound, drunk cooking, all the garbage one, what it was called. Born and raised in Ojai, my husband on Creek Road. We all grew up with Char Man, but never heard of the other stories.
Oh. But I mean, you did grow up with your husband, so I'm assuming there's
quite a lot of inbreeding in this
tight family.
Yeah.
Grew up with my husband, yeah, so I mean, you probably didn't get out into town much.
I have heard of this Char Man.
Why do you need to go into town? Everything you need's right here,
Right
baby
here.
girl. Come and sit on your husband Papa's lap.
Barney of Rio, Nevada. He says, I've heard of this Char Man. It's from my high school days at Rio Mesa. Mid-60s it was. I thought they were making it up until I found out on my computer today, believe it or not. Yeah, I believe that, Barney.
Yeah, I do believe it.
It's not particularly...
It's not unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you're not world weary yet. And you think
he's not jaded.
Yeah, he's
There's a beautiful
jaded,
innocence to some of these characters. And I think that's,
there's
almost a blissful ignorance.
There's a refreshing naivete.
Yeah, that's there you go. There's a really dismissive way of putting it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll maybe save some of these other comments for one of the others. But there you go. There's
okay. Well, there we go.
The story of the Char Man.
Chicken Tikka Man.
Yeah.
So shall we go through our scoring system?
Well, I'll just point out
okay.
just we go.
Thought you just said we were finished.
There is I think I might have mentioned this already on IMDb. There is a Char Man the movie.
Okay.
And it's actually got a real actor in it. Well, I say a real actor. He's the guy who wrote it and sort of seems to have directed it and all the rest of it. He was in Community and the Muppets. So he's actually acted in some real things, mostly as an extra or like a small bit part. But
Donald Glover.
It's not Donald Glover, unfortunately. No, it's a chap called Kurt Ehler.
I feel like I've got a big connection with Donald Glover because I myself consider myself an all-round entertainer like Donald Glover or Dean Martin or perhaps Michael Barrymore.
Writing checks you can't cash there, even on the Barrymore front, never mind about Donald Glover.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you've had a few unwanted things in your pool.
I don't have a pool.
No,
anymore. Not since the expose.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. The spookiness, Neil, fire away. Both cannons. Don't hold back. I'm wearing a entertainment-proof vest.
Fair enough. Fortunately, I won't be firing like with Temo. It's not that spooky, I don't think. But it doesn't. I won't take into account all of his charms. So we'll just go with the Char Man. Yeah, I mean, like, it's semi, I suppose, isn't it? Because it's kind of like, yeah, that would be kind of horrifying if there was something that's coming out and like murder you from a bridge, and think of someone who's like, I don't know, is he like undead or? But I don't know. It's not that terrifying. It's just like a melty fella who's living on a bridge. I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah, so I think the problem with Char Man is there's more questions than answers because there doesn't seem to have been many encounters or kind of any stories about it apart from the legend is if you shout, help me, then he comes running at
something
you.
Not particularly well described.
But I mean, he doesn't seem to kill anyone or anything like that. So...
That we know of.
I know that we know of, but I don't know. It feels like good first page, but you haven't done anything more, and it needs more body and volume and shininess. So I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a 4. Believability. So I'm going to go high on this. Because I think that the origin of it being that there was a guy with bad skin cancer and he wasn't out during the day, and that could be because he was not wanting to be seen because he was self-conscious about his looks. But also, if you've got bad skin cancer, you probably don't want to be out in the sun.
No, not in the sun,
Right, so, and him walking around and maybe having like sort of strange markings and kids saw it at night and then came up with this. I think that's quite believable. So although there is no, unlike Charlie No Face, there's no corroborating.
No, absolutely.
But I'm going to give it an 8. Neil?
Yeah, similar premise. It's probably going to be a 7 for me because I think you're taking into account all of the other stories that aren't particularly believable. But as you say, there's at least one of the stories that does kind of make some sort of sense, and it does seem to be one where it's a bit of a popular bit of lore in the local. It's just not very well built on, as you were saying.
Okay. Narrative/premise.
I mean, there's the bones of something in here, isn't there? I think if you can do it with Ghost Rider, you can do something for this. But yeah,
To be fair
there's
to
not.
Ghost Rider, it is a comic that goes back like 20 years, so there's
Yeah,
probably
there's
a bit more behind
backstory.
it.
Yeah, the problem is again, it's kind of like, I mean, what I like. Well, I'll tell you what, this would be quite low, but I like the fact he's got a lot of spooky friends. I just assume they all hang out.
Okay.
Say, the vampire, the blood drinking dog, the headless motorcyclist, the hitchhiking bride.
Yeah, the sexy bride.
Yeah. So I think that's what saves.
Suicide Kids.
Yeah, Suicide Kids. I think that's what
The
saves
Crazy
it.
Hand.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's a whole,
Yeah.
it's a bit more of a character study.
It's a menagerie.
Yeah, lots of these things that you move in and out. So I'll give it a 6 on that basis. He's not got that much of a narrative, but I think
6. So yeah, he's an all right character, and I have got some stories of how it started. So the premise is all right, but there is no narrative.
They've not done much with it, but that leaves you a gap, I suppose.
Yeah, you could do something with it, sure. But again, like by saying that you could do something with it, you're asking me to do the work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 4 now.
Fair dues.
And Reach. So I've heard of it, but that's only because I do this podcast. So I don't know. So there's a film, so that will give it some reach. It's not very old, so that marks it down. And I don't like it. Sounds like people know about it in the Ventura County area.
Yeah, it's more in the local area, it seems like. Yeah.
So I don't think it's massive. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I think that's probably about fair for me as well. The fact that it's got a film that's made about it looks very kind of like what do you call it, Blair Witch Project type thing. I imagine it's quite found footagey. Yeah, and they've obviously picked one of the local urban legends. So I think it's quite well known in the area. We read about it on the internet because researching like we've done. But yeah, probably a 3 for me.
3, okay.
A lot of reach.
Well, that gives us an overall score of 41. Right in
Down
the
middle,
middle.
like the Char Man himself. Yeah, he's just a little bit too,
try a bit harder. Do you know, like, he's got no one to blame but his own inaction.
They came in hot with that article and they just didn't deliver. So,
No.
Such is the way.
But we'll have a look at 1 or 2, maybe, of the other ones and see if there's a bit more about them over the next couple of weeks. If
they're anything like Char Man, we should stretch this out to a whole series.
Oh, why not? Why not a whole side pod?
You wait till you hear about the headless motorcyclist.
Yeah, you wait till you hear about the Native American whose distinguishing feature is he's got some feathers. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Hey, look, autumn's drawing in.
Yeah.
It's been nice to spend a little bit of time in the sunny orange groves of California, where the water is scarce and the highways go for miles.
Lovely.
Lovely. All right. Well, that's it for this week. And yeah, we'll be back with another one from this area, I guess. Same time next week. So, and if you're in the UK, please do batten down the hatches. Look after yourself, because it's going to be windy.
Except for by the time you hear this, it's probably a little bit too late.
No, absolutely not. No, it starts.
All going out tomorrow night, isn't it?
It's going out tomorrow. It's going out at 1 a.m. local
All
time.
going out tonight, yeah. Oh, okay, there you go.
We will just
anyone who's really on it, yeah.
So we'll start buffeted.
Yeah, we are recording this on the evening of the 27th.
Anyone with insomnia, then they will be straight in. Cool. All right, guys. Take care, whatever you're doing, and hope you're all right, and keep going. And I've been doing more stuff just quickly on X, Twitter, under at Legends Urbane, if you want to follow on there, or you can always email us at legends.podcast@gmail.com. I know you won't. And give us a like or comment or whatever.
Hey, why not? What's going to cost you?
You've shut off by this point.
Nothing.
It doesn't matter. Cool. All right. Have a nice week, and we'll be back next time. Bye-bye.
See you then. Goodbye.